You tell yourself you need more confidence, but that's not the real problem. You don't hate yourself, you just don't trust yourself. You make a decision, then immediately second-guess it. You promise you'll wake up early and don't believe it when you say it. And somewhere deep down, you've stopped taking your own words seriously. Why? It doesn't look dramatic from the outside. You function, you work, you show up. But inside, there's friction. You overthink simple choices. You ask others for reassurance. You replay conversations, wondering if you said the wrong thing. And when you set a goal, there's a quiet voice that whispers, "You won't follow through anyway." So you hesitate, you delay, not because you're lazy, but because you don't believe yourself. Psychology calls this low self-efficacy, the belief that your actions won't reliably produce results. When that belief weakens, your brain conserves effort. Why invest energy in someone who's inconsistent? And that someone is you. Over time, this becomes identity. I'm just bad at sticking to things. I always mess it up. I can't rely on myself. But here's the part most people miss. This didn't start as self-hate. It started as adaptation. And to understand that, we have to look at how the brain builds trust in the first place. You are not broken. Your brain is simply updating predictions. The brain is a prediction machine. It constantly asks, if I do this, what will happen? When your past actions repeatedly contradicted your intentions, your brain learned a pattern. Intentions are unreliable, motivation fades, plans collapse. So it adjusted. It lowered expectation, not to punish you, but to protect you from disappointment. Self-doubt is often the brain trying to reduce future pain. It would rather expect little than hope big and be let down again. That's not self-hatred, that's a survival strategy. But survival strategies can quietly shrink your life. So what exactly is happening under the surface? Think of trust like a bridge. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you lay down one wooden plank. Every time you break one, a plank is removed. Eventually, the bridge feels unstable. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning, creates goals. But your limbic system, the emotional survival brain, tracks outcomes. If outcomes repeatedly signal failure or inconsistency, the limbic system lowers motivation. Why? Because from a behavioral psychology perspective, behavior that doesn't produce reliable reward loses energy. This is reinforcement theory. Your brain reinforces what works, and if trying leads to stress, guilt, or failure, it slowly stops investing. So when you hesitate now, it's not weakness, it's your nervous system saying, "This bridge doesn't feel safe." The question isn't how to force confidence, it's how to rebuild structural trust, and that requires something different than motivation. 1. Shrink the promise. What to do? Make commitments so small they feel almost unimpressive. Why it works. Small wins create consistent dopamine reinforcement. Dopamine isn't just pleasure, it's evidence that effort leads to reward. Example, instead of "I'll work out 5 days a week," say "I'll stretch for 5 minutes." When you complete it, your brain logs a success, plank added. 2. Separate identity from outcome. What to do? When something fails, describe the behavior, not yourself. Why it works. Cognitive behavioral psychology shows global self-labeling increases learned helplessness. Example, instead of "I'm undisciplined," say "I didn't prepare my environment." Specific causes feel controllable. Your brain regains agency. 3. Reduce decision load. What to do? Pre-decide small routines. Why it works. Decision fatigue weakens the prefrontal cortex. When tired, the limbic system dominates, favoring comfort. Example, lay out your clothes at night. Choose your default breakfast. Fewer decisions mean fewer chances to break trust. 4. Track evidence, not feelings. What to do? Write down daily proof of follow-through.
Why it works? The brain has negativity bias. It remembers failures more vividly than consistency. Recording evidence corrects distorted memory. Example, at night, write one sentence. Today, I kept my word by, even if it's small. Trust isn't built through intensity, it's built through repetition. Imagine your relationship with yourself as a quiet partnership. Every kept promise is a deposit, every broken one is a withdrawal. Your brain is the accountant. It doesn't care about intentions, it records behavior. If you want confidence, don't chase belief, chase evidence. Confidence is simply accumulated proof, and proof comes from patterns. You don't need to become a different person. You don't need louder affirmations. You need a steadier bridge. Start small. Keep it boring. Let your nervous system relearn safety. Because when you consistently show up, even quietly, something shifts. The voice that once doubted softens, not because you argued with it, but because you proved it wrong. And one day, without drama, you'll make a promise and believe yourself.